Welcome to Royal Pride. I'm Tim Rutherford here with Eastern Hancock Athletic Director Aaron Spalding. Welcome, Aaron.
Great to be here this morning.
Well, once again, we're here to talk Eastern Hancock Athletics with the new name of our show, Royal Pride, which kind of embodies what we stand for out. We've talked about the vision with the athletic programs out at Eastern, and so we've made our show to fit what we have out there. We're going to finish up with fall sports first. All of those are done now. So we had some finish up between our last show, and now volleyball season has ended officially. They had a pretty good year compared to the year before. They're showing improvement every year, which is what you like to see. I know they've got a lot of girls coming back next year as well.
Yeah, they finished 13-19 this year, which is a little bit below 500, but it's a 5-win improvement over last year. So that's the type of improvement you want to see, and hopefully we can make that same improvement maybe next year. Like I said, they won 13 games compared to 8 last year. I believe they just maybe had, I think on the sectional roster, maybe 2 seniors they lost. So got a lot coming back, so there's a lot to look forward to. Some statistical leaders on the team. Leah Ferguson led the team in kills this year. Aces and dig, Haley Best was the leader there. Blocks, Peyton Hicks, and then assists, Lori Els, which I have a hard time knowing what all that is. But I know assist, I had to learn. I'm used to basketball. Assist are when you set the ball and set somebody up to score. But anyway, the good news is 3 of those 4 girls will all be back next year. Leah Ferguson's the only graduating senior, so got a lot coming back next year.
Excellent. So Coach Rainbolt's got a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely.
And I know the 13 wins was an improvement from last year, and they look to do that again next year.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
We had a couple other sports that have ended now. Fall seasons, as we mentioned, are over. Our girls and boys cross-country teams had some success, had some individuals that got out to regional and really did well. And we had, I think, a couple that just barely missed advancing to semi-state.
It was a good year. It kind of something that's a downer for our cross-country teams. This year we're not in a conference, and they had been dominant in the conference, so we didn't have that conference meet to kind of shoot for. But nonetheless, they did have a great year. We had 4 girls advance to the regional. The way it works is there's a certain number of kids you can advance as a team, but you can also advance as an individual. It's the top, I believe, 4 teams, their whole team advances on, and then the next 10 individuals after those teams runners have gone. So anyway, we had 4 girls advanced, Taylor Stein, Lainey Effing, Annie Floyd, and Liberty Durham, all advanced to the regional. Unfortunately, didn't advance on to the semi-state, but did advance to the regional. Also want to mention, and we've talked about this in a show before, but they also brought home a trophy. They were Centerville Invitational champs early in the year, so wrapped it up. Girls cross country had another strong season.
Excellent, and the boys team as well. We had 3 young men who went to regional as well on the boys side. One of which was a newcomer to the running thing with the cross country team. He really did well this year. He's one of our basketball players, and I think several of those will be back next year as well.
Gabe Blake, Skylar Schroep, and Will Huffman all advanced onto the regional. I know Gabe and Skylar were really close. I think they were, like I said, the top next 10 advanced to the semi-state. I think Gabe was 11 and Skylar was 12. So they were right there. And I also wanted to mention with the cross-country team, the boys, they were Eastern Hancock, our own invitational championships, and I think that's noteworthy because I believe that's their first championship of any kind, I think, in 10 years. So wow. If my memory serves me correct. So really good year for the boys, at least as far as where they come. The girls have had a lot of success the last number of years. The boys, though, had their best year they've had in some time.
Excellent. So good things happening with the running program out there at Eastern. Our football team, their season's over now, unfortunately. They were hoping that they'd be playing this Friday for a sectional title, but ran into a pretty tough Triton Central team last week in the sectional semifinal.
Mm-hmm.
and just struggled to get some points on the board. And then when we did, they came off the board
Yep,
because of a penalty. So.
Yeah, we after beating Centerville in the first round of the sectional, we won 27-0. Defense was just outstanding that night. I believe they allowed like 4 yards total offense, which talking to Coach Michael Gallion, who's a statistical guru, and he's done all types of research on Eastern Hancock football. I think that was the 4th best defensive total in Eastern Hancock history. They just were outstanding defensively. Defense had another great outing last Friday, just giving up 7 points to a really good Trident Central team who I think a couple weeks before had beaten Speedway 42-39. So this is a team that was used to putting some points on the board. As you mentioned, offensively, we had a couple scores that came back. Actually, they had a score that came back too. It was one of those few games we had more touchdowns called back than we had 2 for us and 1 for them that were called back. Then we had actual touchdown scored. They just had 1. So, they played them tough. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short there in the end.
But I think once again, which has kind of been the theme here with our fall sports, lots of young men coming back for the football team. Not a lot of graduates.
We had some, but we've got a lot of kids coming back. Jarrett Lewis, our quarterback, will be back again next year. AJ Meggie on the offensive side as well will be back. We had a great year. And also a big returner, probably one of our top, if not our top linemen, Mitch Gwynn, early on in the year blew his ACL. Actually, he did it before we ever played a game. Actually, I think it was in the summer. But he will be back next year as well. So got a lot of good stuff coming back. Expect good things for our program next year.
Excellent. And for the defense to do that at the end of the season, the last 2 games, it was good to see because talking to Coach Schultz at the beginning of the season, I believe they had lost 7 of their defensive starters to graduation last year. So.
Yeah, it took them a while for the defense. The defense struggled, especially early in the year, but really found their stride later on. So we look forward to that going into next year.
Well, we also had an opportunity to play at Lucas Oil. And there was some excitement there. Our 7th and 8th grade football got to play there. And then there was a special moment that happened as well.
Yeah. I want to talk about that. We played October 8th, Saturday. We had our regular scheduled game at Shenandoah, or would have been at our place, but with Shenandoah, a good rival of ours. We went and played at Lucas Oil, had the opportunity along with a slate of 3 other high school games. But it was a good opportunity. Early in the day, our 7th and 8th grade actually got to play games. They played the Homeschool Lions, which is an Indianapolis-based homeschool group. But they got to play on the field, which was a great experience for them. The cheerleaders get on the field. Just a really fun experience for them. So they got to play. And then 2 o'clock, we played Shenandoah. As on the field and on the big screen and whatnot, all that kind of stuff. So that was a fun thing. Unfortunately we fell short there. I believe lost 32-26 if my memory serves me correct, somewhere in that range. But the coaches had prearranged for after the game was over, they were going to have one more play. We have a young man in our school, a special needs young man named Michael Rumler, who's a football fanatic, and he just loves football and went to all our practices this year. And anyway, they prearranged where he would have the opportunity to run it in. Shenandoah was in on the plan. And and you see it here on the screen here. This was after the game was over. He got the opportunity to score this touchdown. It was just a really neat, time of sportsmanship where he got the opportunity to score a touchdown at Lucas Oil Stadium, and it was just a real real neat moment for everybody involved.
And it's always good to see that. I know Shenandoah and Eastern Hancock are bitter rivals. So having two rivals come together so that make one of the students' dreams come true. Because I believe he told one of the teachers at the school that his dream was to play for Eastern Hancock football.
Yep. It was a good moment for him, and something we, just a real good moment, at Lucas Oil for that young man.
Okay, and as we wrap up the first segment here, just an announcement: the Fall Awards program is coming up to celebrate all the sports from the fall season.
Yeah, well, our awards will be Wednesday, November 16th, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. At 7 o'clock, we'll start in the high school gym, where we'll make some major, announcements, give out those who've earned their letter jackets, those types of things, and then we do breakouts into individual sports. So that's Wednesday, November 16th, 7 o'clock.
Excellent. Well, that's a wrap for the fall sports and our first segment here today. When we come back, we're going to ramp up for the winter sports season and talk some basketball at just about every level.
Royal Pride is
competitive greatness, character, and leadership that serves.
Competitive greatness, character, and leadership that serves. Competitive greatness, character, and leadership that serves.
Royal Pride is
Leadership that serves,
character.
and competitive greatness.
Welcome back to Royal Pride, and we're going to move into the winter sports season. Girls basketball is actually underway. They had their scrimmage already. Their first game, I believe, is it this week, Saturday? Or
Saturday
is it?
night.
Yeah,
Saturday night. Yep.
So
Yep.
they are underway and moving. I believe that's the first winter sport to actually officially start their season. So how are things looking this year? I know we have a new coach on the sidelines.
Well, actually, yeah, they started practice, I think it was October 17th. So it's been, a couple weeks. They, a couple years ago, they moved the girls' season back even another week because they wanted the state championship game to be at Bankers Life, whereas prior to, they'd moved it around to various places because the Big Ten women's tournament came on that, so they moved it back. So anyway, they started real early. Swimming and wrestling started this past Monday practice, and then everybody else will start this coming Monday in practice. So anyway, with girls basketball, as you mentioned, we do have a new coach. Andy Maneely is his name. Glad to have him on board. Kind of his background is he's mostly coached at the college level. Doesn't have a lot of experience at the high school level, but has some great experience at the college level, about 10 to 12 years of college basketball experience. Most recently, he was assistant with the Taylor University women's program. So, he's done a great job out of the gate, and looking forward to seeing what they have to. They have a lot back this year, so we look for good things. The other night, scrimmage, we look good at times, bad at times, but that's how scrimmages go. So, expect a lot of good things for the girls.
And a funny story about Coach Maneely. He has two big, I'm not sure if they were lab dogs, but they were.
No.
He brought them to the football game.
Yeah, I heard.
Apparently, they're not familiar with cows because our cows that are on property there were wandering out, and they started raising a ruckus during the football game. So. He had to put him in the truck, I think.
Yeah, I know his wife's a big animal lover, so Brought the dogs with them.
So not used to having cows on the school property, I guess. The dogs weren't used to
Yeah.
that. But they open up Saturday night against Beech Grove.
They do. They will play Beech Grove, which is a change from the original schedule. Originally, we had Hagerstown, scheduled, but Hagerstown's volleyball team went to the semi-state, so they would have just, I don't know actually how they did last Saturday. But anyway, they wouldn't have enough time to get everybody ready to go, so Beech Grove needed a game, so we got in contact with former Greenfield graduate Matt English, who's the AD over at Beech Grove, and got it set up, so they're going to come to our place Saturday night, so we're taking on the Hornets.
Excellent. So that'll be a good test to start the season. School a little larger than what we are. Swimming is underway as well. I know the boys and girls have different start times for practice, but they are both underway, I believe.
Yes,
now.
they are. They, as of, like I said, Monday. No, I take that back. Boys start when boys basketball starts. So we have not started boys practice. The girls have been practicing since the 24th. So they're up and running. The girls have we have one girls only meet, and that'll be at our place. We'll have a three-way meet with ourselves, Batesville, and Newcastle. That's on the 17th, and after that we move on into co-ed opportunities where you swim both boys and girls together in a similar way a high school track meet works. But our first co-ed meet will be November 23rd, and that'll be at Centerville. So expect a lot of good things from the swimmers this year.
Excellent, and a couple of returning swimmers who are on our record board, I think, in a couple different areas.
Yeah, Shelby Kell on the girls' side owns lots of records. Last year I think virtually every week she was breaking her own records even. So she's a returner, and then Chris Walden on the boys' side once again holds a lot of records. So those two are top, and then we got a lot of other returners as well. So, like I said, expect good things from Coach McCormick and the swimmers this year.
Excellent. Wrestling's underway now. I know I've seen them in the hallway doing conditioning. That's their favorite part of the season.
Yep.
It might be Coach Oliver's favorite part of the season, but he might be the only guy in there that likes that. So what are we looking at with our wrestlers this year?
Yeah, we, as you mentioned, they've started. Now we've got kids coming, and I'm really concerned about their weight and all that kind of stuff. So they're getting in there. So we have 4 kids returning that were regional qualifiers, 1 sectional champion. Josh Robinson was a sectional champion for us last year. He's returning. He's a senior. Gabe Blake, Jordan Wills, and Jason Bowers also were regional qualifiers, and they're back as well. Another regional qualifier that's not back, we mentioned him already, Mitch Gwynn, but he's, because of that ACL, he's not able to wrestle this year, but he would have been another one. So they'll miss him, obviously, but hopefully we'll have somebody step up.
Excellent. And as we come to the close of this segment, we have youth programs in almost every sport now, and the ones we don't, I know we're working towards. The winter season, I think everybody has. There's a swim club, the girls basketball has a youth program, the boys basketball has a youth program, and the wrestling, I believe, also has a youth program, but it's a little later. It has a little later start. So coaches trying to build from the bottom up. By bottom, I mean the kindergartners on up. Not
start them early.
So
start them early.
I know in the boys basketball program we have kindergarten through 6th graders, including the 2 school teams, 146 boys.
Yes, we have record numbers this year in boys basketball. I think girls basketball, once again, they start at kindergarten. I think we have a lot of good numbers there. So I think we've made it a sense of pride to build from within, to build up, and to make a difference in our kids, and all the way elementary, all the way through their high school years.
So, and it's exciting to see so many kids that are interested in playing. I know on the boys' side, I told you there were lots of boys who hadn't played before, even 2nd and 3rd graders, even though they'd have opportunities to play. So it's good to see new boys who are interested in taking an interest in the sport and wanting to learn how to play. So we are excited about that. When we come back, we're going to talk boys basketball, as well as some of the things that are going on with our boosters and other things with our technology stuff with Coach Paxton. We'll be right back on Royal Pride.
If you could see how it ends, what would you change? Around 46 Americans die each day from prescription drug overdose.
Welcome back to Royal Pride, and we're going to move into boys basketball. We start practice on Monday. Looking forward to a chance to have some success this year, as we have a lot of returning players.
Yeah, we returned, as you mentioned, quite a few kids back from last year. We graduated 3 seniors, but we have a number of kids who made big contributions last year. We have our leading scorer and rebounder back, Addison True, who's also one of the top 100 underclassmen that participated in a workout this summer. Interesting thing on that, went over Ben Davis, and Romeo Langford was on his team from New Albany, so it will be the probable Mr. Basketball here in a couple of years. So that was a good experience for him. But Addison's been a starter for us for 2 years. He's now a junior. Expect good things from him. A couple other returning stars back. A.J. Meggie was our second leading scorer last year, and he's back this year. Duncan Cherry, I believe, was our third leading scorer and a starter last year. He's back. Then a couple other guys who played a lot of minutes for us last year. Tyler Blattner and Jacob Eischen got a lot of varsity experience last year as sophomores. Kind of a good thing, every kid I've mentioned there is still only a junior. So, but then we have some newcomers who at least new to the varsity. Bryson Napier played as a freshman at Morristown on the varsity last year. Through eligibility rules, he was not eligible to play varsity, so he was had a very successful year on our JV team last year. But really look forward to him stepping up this year and being a key contributor on our varsity basketball team. Nathan Mosher, our lone senior this year, was in the same boat. He played here at Greenfield a couple years ago. Last year he was, because of eligibility rules, needed to play JV. So, but we expect some good things from him. Peyton Gray, got great size, about 6'7". Sophomore, so a young kid, so we're working on him, developing him. Hopefully he can contribute some for us this year. And then Tyler Castles also played well for the JV last year, and expecting him to contribute in spots as well. So a lot of kids back, lots to look forward to. Got to work hard, be ready to go. We open up against Centerville, as we have for a long time, day before Thanksgiving. So it depends on how well stuff tastes, is how well we play that night. So
excellent. And I think on our roster we're going to list Peyton Gray as 5'10", right? Just to throw him off a little bit. But you mentioned Addison got a chance to play with Romeo Langford. Probably if they gave the award right now for 2 years from now, he would be Mr. Basketball. And as a sophomore last year, if we gave it to underclassmen, he would have at least been in the discussion for it.
Yes, he would have.
So
yes. I think he's the latest thing. They had him listed as the number 2 person in his class as far as recruiting trails, so to speak. So obviously a good player.
So I'm sure Addison had a lot of fun that day getting to play with Romeo. But so basketball season is about underway at all levels at Eastern Hancock. I know our middle school is also underway. They've started practice, and I believe they play Saturday, correct?
7th and 8th grade will open up Saturday. They'll play a round robin with North Decatur and South Decatur at North Decatur Saturday morning. So they'll open up their season and be up and going there. 5th and 6th grade school teams start practice next week, as do all our youth teams. So we'll be up and running.
Excellent. Which means if you want a gym time, it'll be after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So Well, here as we work to close out our show for this month, there's a few things we want to talk about. The boosters have a silent auction coming up as a fundraiser. That's going to be on December 2nd. And
that will be at the varsity basketball game in conjunction. We play Southwestern that night, so they always have great things in that auction: Pacer tickets, Butler tickets, Purdue tickets, IU tickets, all those things. Coach O'Hare is working on some from Jack Doyle, maybe a signed jersey or something of that nature from Jack Doyle. So got a lot of things. They always do a great job with that. So if you want some ideas for some Christmas presents, then stop by the silent auction that night.
Signed basketball by Coach Aaron Spalding.
Well, I'd probably have to pay somebody to take that.
And we had another student, another athlete who has signed a letter of intent to play at a college.
Yeah, Peyton West, who has been a catcher for us, a lot of successful softball teams. She's a senior this year. Expect her to have a great year again this year. But she signed a letter of intent to play at Calumet College of St. Joseph's, which is up north in the Region area. In Indiana, so it's great to see our kids get recognized and get the opportunity to play at the next level.
Always good to see another athlete getting to play at the next level. And staying with the softball theme, we have a new softball coach on board as well.
Yep, our coach from last year, and we were just in a hair of making it to the state finals last year, lost by 1 run in the semi-state. But Sue Anderson is moving on. Her kids are getting older, wanting to spend more time there. So one of the assistants on that team, Pat Medler, is going to step up and be our varsity coach. And Pat comes with lots of great credentials. He, years back, was the head coach of Pendleton Heights, the head softball coach. He also has been an assistant at Butler. So he has a lot of great experience to bring to the table, and he relates really well with the girls, and expecting great things there.
And we have a new girls track coach.
Yeah, Jade Gallion, who's not new to us. She's been in our school system for a lot of years, very passionate about track. She has been our coach middle school track for us for a number of years. She was former state finalist when she ran track in high school. Went to Boone Grove High School in southern Indiana. Like, as I mentioned, very passionate about track, so we're excited to have Jade.
And the Athletic Vision Community Service projects for the fall have been completed. Middle school got to do some projects out at the school.
Yep, they did that on October 1st. They did all types of stuff around the grounds at Eastern Hancock. And then our high schoolers once again went to Nameless Creek Youth Camp. And just did all kinds of stuff outside serving that youth camp. So once again, just a little opportunity to give back.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for your time being with us again this month. As we close out, I just want to make a note to everyone. If you're interested in following Eastern Hancock sports, you actually can put an app on your phone. Thanks to Coach Paxton, our technology guy. We have both an iPhone app as well as an Android. I believe you just need to search EH Athletics.
EH Athletics, yep.
And you can
download
load
it in any
that.
Play Store, or just download it onto your phone.
And you can see all the sports and all the way down to any of the youth levels too. So if you have youth, kids or grandkids who are playing, you can even access their schedules just through that app and follow how they're doing. So, well, thank you again. Look forward to being with you all next month here on Royal Pride.